great strategy that's connected to clear needs in the marketplace, and we know people are going to want what we have. We've got to translate that into action. In this lesson, we're going to do that through a technique called road mapping. This isn't just road mapping about anything, it's road mapping to get your technology turned into products that solve the customer's pain and that they buy. And we've got to figure out how we get from A to B. Give you a couple of quotes. Just about every sales guy I ever knew has said to me at some time or other, nothing happens until somebody sells something. Oh, that's true. Remember that revenue line at the top of the P&L? Nothing. There's no money to spend until somebody pays for something, which is the other version of actually selling something. But there's another one that's kind of an analog to it, and that is that nothing demonstrates credibility like actual sales. So money's good, credibility's good, we're in favor of these things. What this translates to is that real needs and a great strategy aren't going to mean anything unless we have an actionable plan to really achieve revenues. And we know how to go and turn that technology that you think is so amazing into gold. This tool is terrific even as a presentation tool, but often it's too complicated to use that way. I'm mostly introducing this road mapping technique to you to help you clarify your thinking and as a team get real clarity on what you're trying to do. If you look across the top of the page, you see that your good old friends, the strategic milestones, are already there. So that's the first thing we've got to write down, the clarity, what your objective is, and that timeline is now the same timeline you developed before to achieve that set of milestones. That gives you the background to start with. Now at the bottom of the page, I recommend you use a stack of Post-it notes, right? Because you are going to change this hundreds of times. But we'll build all this with Post-it notes. If you love it when you're done, then by all means, go ahead and draw it out in PowerPoint or something and make it immemorial for yourself. But the key is to play with it till it all makes sense. The bottom line is technology. Now, there's at least two categories, and you can do this with maybe two colors of Post-it notes. One is technology that you own or are developing, and the other could be technology that you're going to license or is off the shelf and that you're going to integrate into your products. But what is that cool stuff that you own or have access to that you're going to turn into products? The next layer up is the products that you develop from that technology. So each of those technologies may serve more than one product. You may have a technology that is a platform for you to develop a lot of products. But what order are you going to create products out of that technology? This is going to be populated all the way across the page. What we often do is focus on the first period of time first and get real clarity of how to create this map and then start migrating across the page later. So technology maps into products, and there's different ways of doing the next line. Sometimes we have gone straight to markets and customers, but what I like to do is say, why is that product, what pain is that product going to solve, and then for whom? When we have a clear roadmap then from why is this cool stuff so important to end up in this form for this kind of customer to use in this way so that their pain goes away. And of course, because you're so savvy with your customer P&L now, not only does their pain go away, but it goes away in a way that makes them more money in the end. As we populate that across, and the reason you want to do it in Post-it notes is because you often have to reevaluate as you think your way through it, how long each step might take. The time spacing is very hard to get right. Most of us way underestimate the amount of time it's going to take to accomplish these steps. And I would point out to you that these little arrows are deceptively small and insignificant looking on this page. But when you draw an arrow from a product to a customer, think about what that represents. That represents your whole process of figuring out how they're going to know about it, how they're going to decide about it, how they're going to get it from you, when they're going to pay for it. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen, and we're going to help you deal with all that in this unit. just as an example of what this could look like, I borrowed one from a team that invented several new ways to use scrap from coconut plants. And they make all kind of products that are green, turn out to be better performing than their totally artificial corresponding products, and in the end are cheaper to produce in many cases than the standard products. So they've got a business where, what's not to like? It's greener, cheaper, performs better. Everybody loves it. Turns out there's some very serious challenges in this business in terms of managing our supply chain, because the one tough spot that they've uncovered is natural products aren't nearly as predictable as synthetic products. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff to deal with in there, and that lengthens timelines. But for now, just take a look at a concrete example where they were working with the fiber part and turned that into a set of products and into a set of markets. Then they started working on the ground up shells of the coconuts, which is extremely hard material, does great things as a filler for plastics. You can make plastics have a lot less oil-based product in and a lot more renewable materials. Again, the Post-it notes allow you to go ahead and play this out. This is called our technology product roadmap. It's one of the windows you have into your actionable plan. Again, nothing happens till somebody sells something. So we have to have a plan of how we're going to get ready to sell something. That's critical. Okay, one of the outcomes of having built this roadmap is that we are now forcing an alignment in time frame of those strategic milestones and what that translates to down below that on the page with all your actions. There's a lot more to it than just filling in the box and saying, I'm going to achieve my first $1 million worth of sales in the automotive industry by day X, when we have to translate that into this product from what and to whom format and lay out all those actionable steps. So one of the questions we then automatically ask ourselves as we pull all this together is, can we do this? Do the product delivery and sales development demands that we've just now identified, do those seem reasonable? Can we achieve that? Or does it change our business model? Do we have to have a different strategy in order to get to this marketplace? Will this path and pace, put any previously unforeseen demands on you and your financial and your talent pools? These are all very important questions. And what finally is the rationale you have in your head about why that arrow will actually happen at the top? Why will that customer say yes? When we come back next time, that's what we're going to dig into by looking at all the choices your customer has when they decide, are we buying this or not?